What is up, YouTube? Chappie back today, and we are here for Singleback Ace Player Flex Part 1.5. This video is brought to you by CR Kelly Fly. He asked, how do you block the nickel 2 out of this formation? Everything else looked great. And Darius Teeter gave him a great response. He says play action plays out of singleback formation will have the halfback block on the left, which picks it up, and is really good out of singleback doubles. But it is also very good out of this ace pair flex as well. And shout out to everybody else who commented on the previous video. Let's go ahead and give him some shine, man. Sim Gunther, Jamil Haywood, Free Music Tribe, Mr. JCR, and RC Slick. So shout outs to all those guys for commenting on the previous video. And the feedback was fantastic, guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the scheme. But let's go ahead and look at the nickel blitz. So first things first, I would run the ball. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball till they prove that they can stop the run. That is the very first thing I would say against the nickel blitz. And the reason why is because just fluky stuff happens with this blitz, guys. Some really fluky stuff can happen at times. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to run the setup here. So this is how I would pick up the nickel blitz. We are going to be running the same play as we ran before. Nothing different here with the PA cross shot. The only difference is instead of blocking the running back, instead of putting him on a delay route, instead of putting him on an out route or anything else, leave him on the play action. And then what that is going to do, it is going to allow him to pick up the blitzing corner. Now this very first play is exactly why I say run the ball. Because fluky stuff just happens. Dudes just get crazy instant block sheds. Now, this is practice mode, so the block sheds are going to be OP. But a lot of times that D tackle on the right, for whatever reason, causes a lot of issues. And Zach Martin is getting straight up punished right now, unfortunately. But if they are running the 3-man blitz of nickel blitz, this is a fantastic way to pick it up. If they're even running the 4-man version of the blitz, and when I say 3-man and 4-man, I mean they're rushing 3 guys, or they're rushing 4, and they're dropping the other guys in coverage. If they are doing that, this is fantastic because what you're going to find here is that, just go ahead and do this, we're going to be able to pick it up pretty consistently. You can also stop that play action by holding R2 or right trigger. And what that's going to do is just make the delay a little bit quicker. So this is a regular play action, letting the play run through. And then this time, this is actually holding R2 or right trigger. It's just a lot quicker, and it allows you to set up a bit faster in order to make some plays. So just lets you get downfield, make a quicker pass, depending on what's going on. So if they're rushing 3 or 4, that's going to work fantastic. Now, if they rush 5 or 6, some weird stuff starts happening. Don't ask me why. Just bear with me for a second. This could take a while. So we're going to run the same setup. This time they are rushing 5. And as you can see, the block sheds are on roids. And I would say this is just practice mode, but trust me, guys, I've played enough games against nickel blitz. This happens in the game, and I have not figured out why. I don't understand the concepts or the logic. But nonetheless, they are blitzing 5 or 6. What I like to do, and the main reason I do this is because Witten's route, that delay blue, is fantastic, but it can also be a gift and a curse. Because if he gets assigned to the defensive end or the outside linebacker one-on-one, he will release, and you're going to have a free blitzer coming right at you. And then pretty much your only read is going to be Witten, and he's going to get like 1 yard, if that. Otherwise, you've got, a linebacker lurking in the middle of the field. So Bryant and Williams really aren't an option. Really not too much you can do there if you're running it this way. So what instead I would suggest, run it as usual. Go ahead and put Witten on just a good old drag. And instead of putting Swain on the route, you can leave it as is. Or you can put Swain on a drag and block Witten. Really up to you, your personal preference. But if they do blitz the 6, this should pick it up without too much trouble. And then you just kind of got to make your reads. Now, again, they're probably going to use her that, or they're going to use her Williams route. They're going to have to use one of them. They might cross man. Like I said, this is just to pick up the basic blitz. From that point, You can make your own adjustments offensively as far as how you want to attack the blitz. Generally, I recommend, some underneath stuff like drags or little things like that. Otherwise, you're going to have Bryant or Williams. Both of those routes are really good against the cover 2 in general, as we discussed on the last video. So this time I'm going to just go ahead and show you what it's going to look like. Even if you just run that drag there, we got a double team here. So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to take the sack and just kind of show you guys at what points you can hit these wide receivers. Now again, if they get cross man, things get a little bit different, a little bit more tricky. You'll have to make more adjustments. But as far as just picking up the nickel blitz itself, this is going to get the job done. So we got Witten on a drag here. I would take this every single time. Take your first guy that's open, especially against nickel blitz, because the block sheds and things like that can be pretty freaky. So just take your first read. But then this route here is going to develop. You can hit them a little bit earlier in case they overplay this little post route with their user. Then you can hit Bryant here early in the middle of the field. But otherwise, most of the time, especially if he's not cross-manned or something, he's going to get open on this portion of the field. This flat zone will not cover it because he's too far downfield. That's one of the best things about this route and what makes it, probably the best route in the game right now is because, no flat routes are going to cover that. Not even a purple. Nothing's really going to cover that at this point in the field. And then you got this post route here. Pretty much it goes like this. Because you've got that drag going underneath, it's going to open up the drag. And then if this flat drops down to the flat there, the flat zone drops down to the flat to cover the tight end going across the middle of the field underneath. It's going to open up this pass inside here. And you can go ahead and pass lead this inside or down and inside. Just watch their user, because if they're lurking like right here with Anthony Barr, they're probably going to get a good animation. So you just kind of got to watch their user. They can only use one of these routes. That's the good thing. So one of the two of them is going to get open. Again, they're going to have to cross man and start doing some other stuff. But if they start doing that, then they got to worry about the run, etc. And then there's a couple other ways you can attack this defense. But as far as the basic way to pick up the blitz, this is the very first play I would say to go to in order to stop the nickel blitz 2. Now, I've made an 8-minute video on just picking up the nickel blitz 2. It is a very annoying blitz. I will tell you that much. Another thing we can do, again, is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And then another option here, I would say, I kind of like the Cowboys delay versus it. And I'll show you why here and what we're going to do. And this is not something I do often, but it is an option for you. So if they're going to go ahead and run nickel blitz all game long, what we can do then is just go ahead and just try and get quick little pickups here. So the blitz is going to come, blitz is going to come. Just check it down there. You're not going to get a lot of yards, but it is something safe. Another option here is to flip the formation. And then if they're running it off the left side there, which is what 99% of the people that run nickel blitz do, go ahead and run it like that. That delayed tight end will pick up the blitz. Now, they did get a block shed, but that's, that's part of life. But you can also flip that play. Like I said, you can go ahead and flip the PA cross shot and get the same result. And you can flip the Cowboys delay and kind of get the same result there to pick up the nickel blitz. Let's go ahead and run this flipped one time just to show you. Then you won't have to do the play action deal that I explained earlier in the video. So if you want to go ahead and run the play flipped, let's go ahead and run the play flipped here. Oh, I don't know what the heck's going on. I must have auto flip on this controller. So let's get that turned off. But I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed the scheme, guys. Really, really happy that you enjoyed it. As far as my user settings, when I play, I keep the auto flip off. I keep defensive auto strafe off and switch assist off. Keep ball hawk on because you're going to get way better animations. And I keep heat seeker on because you have a better chance of making a tackle in the open field. Simple as that. And that's it. So let's go ahead and now let's see. All right, perfect. That's what we wanted. So we'll run this same play. This time here, go ahead and just put the halfback on a delay as we've already discussed. and you'll see that tight end picks him up. Now, like I said earlier in this video, that tight end on the delay route is very, very, very scary because he'll release that guy at the worst time possible. Like right here, as you can see, he releases him real quick. And as you know, this play has further downfield threats. And so you're waiting for those guys to develop downfield. And nobody's open, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm getting sacked because this guy just decided to release. So just be careful of that. But other than that, though, that is how I would pick up the nickel blitz too. It is also important to note, you always want to be able to pick up those meta blitzes. And right now, I would say that is probably meta blitz number 1. But other than that, guys, I hope this video helped you. You know, maybe find some ideas of how you want to maybe pick up nickel blitz too. Definitely from this formation, you can pick it up. And other than that, though, that is going to do it for me, man. Till the next time, it's your boy Monster Chappy. We gone, baby.